Hi everyone, Nour Zikra here. I wanted to do a draw my life video once I hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and since I reached that goal, that's what I'm doing. I just want to thank all of my subscribers for helping me reach this goal, and I want to welcome new viewers to my channel. For those who don't know me, I'm an author currently residing in Orlando, Florida. I create writing humor videos along with a writing advice series. So now that you know a little about me, let's get started. Many people think I was born in America where I currently live, but I was actually born in Aleppo, Syria, meaning that my first language is Arabic. You've probably heard a lot about Syria on the news in the past few years due to the war going on there. That's exactly where I'm from. I was born on January 6th in the heart of Aleppo in a Catholic household. My parents got married 2 years before I was born, but they discovered quickly that having a baby was nearly impossible, which was what doctors told them after trying everything. Still, they kept on trying, and obviously I'm here, so it worked out. My parents believe it's a miracle. Even the doctors were baffled, so they named me Nour, which means light in Arabic. You're probably wondering if I spoke English in Syria, and the answer is no. My second language was French. When I lived in Syria, there was no war. It was beautiful and peaceful. Aleppo is the oldest city in the world. You'll find the citadel of Aleppo there, which is where the world's oldest civilization began. While living in Syria, I always used to dream of living in America. I have no idea why I had this dream. Maybe it was because most of my family lived in America. Maybe it was because my parents kept saying Mickey Mouse lived in America. During this time though, I used to write a lot of short stories in Arabic. There was this one time where I told myself I needed to write an entire book. I think I was 8 or 9. I wrote 2 pages and stopped. The urge to write a novel was there, but I wasn't ready. In 2001, when I was 9 years old, I got to visit America for the full summer. My parents and I stayed both in Orlando and in New Jersey, where my cousins lived. I got to visit Disney World, which was a huge thing for me back then. While we were in New Jersey though, something happened. The night of September 10th, 2001, which was the night before 9/11, we were driving past the World Trade Center in New York. I got a good look through the car window at the magnificent view of the Twin Towers high in the sky. The towers were so tall, I had to crane my neck to get a good look at them. They were twinkling in the night. The family friend driving us said he would bring us to visit the towers the very next day. We planned to be at the top of one of the towers the next morning at 7. Thankfully, we all slept late and woke up late the next morning, getting a wake-up call from my grandmother warning us not to leave the house and to look at the news. Had we woken up early like planned, we would all be dead today. This dark time in history taught me to appreciate life and be very thankful for the time God gives us on earth. In 2004, when I was 11, we got our green cards to come to the United States, and I was thrilled. We had to leave family members behind, which was heartbreaking, but we were also looking forward to new opportunities. I didn't think much about how hard everything will be once I start school in America. I thought it would all be a breeze. My first day of school was a shock. I stepped into school in Orlando not speaking much English. I had a tutor in Syria who taught me some English a few months before we moved to America, but it was nowhere near enough. Needless to say, I got lost in school the first few days, had no idea what anyone was saying, and was embarrassed every time I had to say, "I don't speak English" to the administrators and students. Funny enough, after 2 months, the school assigned me to translate Arabic English to this new student who had come from Morocco. Moroccans speak Arabic, but their dialect is different, so we struggled for some time to understand each other. Still, we became fast friends. She was in all my classes, so we went everywhere together, ate together, talked to people together. I still didn't know English well, but being her quote-unquote translator, I was forced to talk to people on her behalf and attempt to explain lessons to her. Though it was difficult, this first year pushed me to try my hardest to learn the language. It was the beginning of the many wonderful things to come. The following year, my parents decided to move us to New Jersey to look for more work opportunities in New York. My dad is both a chemist and a French-English-Arabic translator. He got his master's degree in France. So, he looked for work in those fields in New York. And luckily, he got hired by the United Nations as a translator. I started school in a little town in New Jersey known as Little Falls, and my mom started working at the local Macy's. I began 8th grade with a little lie. I pretended I was fluent in English. I didn't tell anyone that I spoke Arabic. For some reason, what I learned during my first year of translating to my friend actually helped me sound like a natural-born speaker. Everyone thought I had come from Florida. Of course, I did tell my closest friends the truth, but the rest didn't know. I read many books during those years, including The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series by Anne Brashares, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, and Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. I fell in love with books and became inspired to write my own, so I started a novel. I wrote 60 pages before realizing how terrible it was. For one, my English was decent but not novel-worthy. For two, I was writing literal nonsense. The plot didn't exist. I discarded that novel. To this day though, I am thankful for attempting to write that awful novel at the age of 13 when I was still learning English. If I hadn't taken the dive then, I might never have found the courage or motive to start writing novels. Taking the chance opened my hunger for writing, and from that day on, I couldn't stop. After 2 years in New Jersey, we decided to move back to Florida to be closer to the majority of our family. I was in 10th grade at this point, and I wrote 2 more books. They were of good length, somewhere around 300 pages. Each was better than the other. You could see improvements in my writing and my language, but they were still not publishing quality. In 11th grade, my parents and I became American citizens, which was such an amazing milestone for us. The following year, in my senior year of high school, I started writing Dance with the Devil, which is the novel I did publish. It took 5 months to write and a couple more months to revise, edit, and get ready for publication. Today I look back at this novel knowing that it was a big step, but also realizing that I had a lot to learn still. I was in my first semester of college by then, attending the community college where my father taught organic chemistry. Everyone urged me to write as a hobby and do something more stable for a career. Following the advice of those closest to me, I started college studying criminal justice with the hope of becoming a lawyer. I ended up finishing that semester with straight A's, but realized that my passion for writing was far grander than anything else. I couldn't be a lawyer and put my passion on the side, so I switched to a creative writing major. In 2012, I met my best friend and now boyfriend, Michael, at a church retreat I wasn't planning on attending. But my priest wanted me to go as the advisor to the younger youths from my church. So, on the first day of the retreat, Michael noticed me and tried to include me in his group because I was shy and stood by myself in a corner. On the second day, he asked if he could sit next to me on the bus. We started talking, and soon enough, we became close friends. At the end of the retreat, Michael returned to his home in Miami, and I returned to Orlando. But we texted every day. A month after we met, Michael sent me a lengthy message telling me he had feelings for me. I didn't know how I felt, so I said I saw him as a friend. We kept talking a lot though. That same year I met Michael, I got accepted into the University of Central Florida. My major was, of course, creative writing. School was the toughest it had ever been. I was writing a minimum of 5 stories a week for my classes along with other literary assignments. It's not a surprise that I had a big case of writer's block. I didn't write any personal novels during this time. My mind felt shut. However, I did get an amazing internship at a prestigious literary journal called the Florida Review. This journal publishes short fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and graphic narratives. Being an editorial intern taught me so much about editing and the diverse writing styles. It was an amazing experience without a doubt. College was brutal, I'm not going to lie, but boy did it push me to be a better writer. With a 4.0 GPA, I graduated summa cum laude from UCF in December 2014. Let me backtrack here for a second. 2013, the year before I graduated, I saw Michael again at another church retreat. There was a huge party hosted by the church at the hotel we were staying at, but Michael and I decided to ditch it and walk around the hotel. We stayed up till 3 in the morning, just talking and walking. Neither one of us said anything, but we were both thinking the same thing, which was that we liked each other a lot. 2 weeks later, we were texting and we finally admitted our feelings. July 23rd, 2018 was our 5-year anniversary. Currently, Michael lives in Orlando and is the one you hear in the background of many of my videos. He's my director and manager in a sense. A month after graduation, I started work at a marketing agency known as TCDG Studios. To this day, I have a lot of love for this company. They taught me a lot about marketing, advertising, and content writing. Everyone who works there is like my second family. I was a content writer for many of their clients. Being in that positive environment helped me break through writer's block. So I started writing Divinity Falling, the novel I'm currently preparing for publication, which is about a badass 22-year-old named Addie who must sell human souls to get her brother out of hell. And if she doesn't, her brother dies. But this fallen angel named Adriel keeps blocking her at every turn because, well, morals. 2.5 years and a complete novel later, I decided I wanted to try something new to help me grow as a person. So I left the agency in August 2017 and started substitute teaching. This was the toughest year of my life. I worked at a middle school, which meant there were good days and bad days. 2 months before the school year ended though, I was promoted to a full-time teaching position as an ESOL, English as a second language teacher. I got to teach many wonderful kids who are new to the country, just like I was new to the country 14 years ago. I was pushed past my comfort zone and I learned that I was tough. I transformed from extremely introverted to a more confident me. It's strange how life shapes us, huh? It was this year that inspired me to start my YouTube channel. I've always wanted to create my own YouTube channel, but I never really knew what it should be about. After struggling through a really tough year though, I knew what I loved doing more than anything else. I was a writer first and foremost. I kept thinking, what if I could start my own YouTube channel where my life's journey and experience could help other writers? So that's where it all began. With Michael's help, we posted the first video, which featured humor, something that is at the heart of our relationship. And from that point, we knew we had to integrate more writing humor videos. So here I am, roughly 9 months since the birth of my channel. I will continue working to bring joy and laughter to all of you amazing writers, but I'm also looking forward to motivating you to write your own novels. Right now, I'm working on publishing Divinity Falling and looking forward to a bright future. I'm so excited to bring you on this amazing journey with me and learn more about you. Together, we can do amazing things. And who knows, maybe we'll discover new adventures together.